want to thank you for joining me once again out here in the shop. It is quite a chilly January morning, so I am going to heat up the shop by forging a couple of cool projects. I'm going to be forging a short sword and a kind of a short spear. So I want to take you over here and show you what I got going. I have some large pieces of 5160 all marked out. I have a little drawing that I did last night of kind of what I'm doing. Just a basic premise drawing. I'm making these out of one piece of steel. It'll be a full tang short sword and a full tang short spear. So what I have to do is I have to cut out the quillions, use the angle grinder, cut these out, and then once I am into the forge, I will pull these out to where they should be, forge the spear, forge the haft down. I'm going to do a tapered tang, so hopefully I can get 30 inches on the handle for the short spear and about 1 foot on the head. And then for the short sword, I'm going to try something similar here. I will be cutting out the quillions, pulling them out to where they should be. And this one I might have to hot cut just because the angles are a little different, so I'm going to try some hot cutting. That is my warm up the shop project for this morning. I have the piece of 5160 all viced up here. I'm going to take my angle grinder and cut out the quillions for the spear. And then I'll cut this bar in half and we will get forging. pulled these out of the forge. They're still pretty hot, so I'm going to let them cool on the anvil. And then once they are cool, I'm going to do some adjustments to the guards on both. And I cut the tips off of these. They're a little too long. And then that will let me be able to forge the handle down. And this one, I'm just going to grind the handle in and kind of clean up the guard on the grinder. And then after that grinding is done, it's time to go back into the forge to finish our profiling. So after hot cutting this out, that worked really well, but I realized I did things a little backwards. I wanted a really smooth transition from the handle to the guard, and if I kept them this way, I'd have to do be all weird and wiggly. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grind in the handle, which I was originally planning to do, and I'm going to grind these off. These little quillion things that I pulled out. I'm going to grind these off, and I'm going to cut it up here and bend them down, because this transition right here on this side is really nice. Like a little bit of cleanup with some files and some sandpaper would be perfect. But this transition on the inside of the handle here will not be comfortable or very practical at all. So essentially I did it backwards. I will remember that for future builds, but this is a pretty simple fix. I'll just grind this off, make new cuts up here. That'll give me a little bit of a ricasso right here, and that will move my my plunge lines up a little bit, but I actually think that might look really, really pretty cool. I was planning to do some fairly deep choils right here in between the guard and the blade anyway, so it should work out quite well. I'm going to go ahead and jump on the grinder, get these ground off. I'm going to take the short spear over to the vise it up, and I'm just going to chop the ends off of the quillions on the short spear. So it's time to make a little dust and jump back into the forge. Alright guys, these have cooled off. It's been quite a while since I turned off the forge. I am quite satisfied with how this went. Kind of an experiment. A full tang short sword. I really like how it turned out. We will see how much I like this after I clean it up on the grinder. I do have some reservations, but as forged, it looks pretty good. I'm going to clean these areas up with the small wheel on the grinder. I'm also going to remove this little lip right here on the grinder as well. Now for the short spear, I did bend the quillions up just for now while I clean up this part of the handle. They will get bent back down. So I didn't want to tear up the side of my forge, so I just kind of bent them up a little bit while I get the handle all worked out. And that handle turned out to be really nice. And you guys saw the piece of steel that I started with. And this is the result. It's now over 4 feet long, and it is a really incredible short spear. So I am so excited to have forged these two awesome projects to warm up the shop today. No better way to keep the shop warm than to forge something awesome. I'm really excited to get grinding on these tomorrow. So if you're having as much fun watching me as I am making these awesome things, then please like and subscribe. I will be forever grateful for your continued support of the channel. It is what lets me build awesome things like this. And if you want to keep up to date with all the projects that I'm working on, not just the ones that I'm doing for YouTube, you can follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook down below. You'll also find my Etsy and my website if you want to order a custom knife, or if you want to order an available knife. Most of what I make here on the YouTube channel will be available for sale. Some of it already is. I'm really excited to take you all along on the journey of making some really incredible knives. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Let's Make a Knife. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.